Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.
Rebel soul child got a fist ball, I'm a respawn of ancestors, and I'm blessed, They are not him, tell him fess up, I get check stub, hella carefree, nothing scares me, hella reckless, yeah, I got next up, right, no we not the same, cause see when I look in your iris, you likely to talk but not ready to ride, you do better keeping it quiet, my pen is ignited, my soul is enlightened, I like who I am but I'm biased, the palette is right and my drip is a fountain, I'm not like these regular guys, all of that talk is misguided, she like the way I make the tape print, but the way I make the words play is grim, I'm the reaper reaching for the kill switch, the label cut the check like the blazing, something sparking where his brain is, the lead is somewhere where they prayers in, Geronimo the way I make the bass jump with no cash.
What is going on, y'all? Sorry about that. I had to switch back and forth a bunch. Welcome to another episode of the He's on Fire podcast. My name is Jay Joyce. You can find me on Twitter at that handle, this handle right here, Jay Joyce. And we have some breaking news to cover today. And unfortunately, Evan can't make it tonight. He's out vacationing. And Amit, he's preparing to go somewhere for work and such. So it's just going to be me today. So this is going to be a little bit of a slower pace episode. And feel free to flood the comments of whatever you guys have to say about this whole situation that's going on today. Thank you again for joining. Just to preference that. Sorry, I can't talk today. It's been a long day, but conversation of the hour, conversation of the day, really. The Indiana Pacers offered Deandre Ayton an offer sheet, which we weren't expecting, really, because the Indiana Pacers, that just isn't their forte. They don't hand out offer sheets like that. It's been about 40 years since the last time they handed one out, but they handed one out for DA for $133 million for a 4-year max. They clear the cap space. They quietly waived a couple players to clear some of that space, and then right when they did that, they offered DA the max. And then, in Woj's words, he agreed to what happened to the offer sheet. And within a couple of hours of when the Suns were able to sign and match, they did that, and now Deandre Ayton is a Phoenix Sun until further notice, until January 15th. And we'll see how things play out from there. But $133 million on a 4-year max. I mean, if you guys remember, we practically offered him the same thing last offseason, but he really wanted that 5th year. And I can't remember the dollar amount. If you guys can help me out, that would be great. Whatever that dollar amount was that we offered him that he denied. And if correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we didn't offer anything this season, and we just wanted to see how the market played out with him. But if you guys can let me know what the dollar amount was last year. What's up, Westville? And the Suns called their bluff. I think what James Jones was doing was playing the long game. I would say, it basically came back full circle. DA, I think he overvalued himself a little bit. He was probably expecting to get a couple snags on the hook, but just no one was really biting it except for the Pacers. And that probably wasn't his ideal place to go, but it was the only place I was offering at the time. And since the Suns didn't offer anything, I mean, that was kind of like his only, his only way to secure that money and secure that max. And basically we got him at a little bit of a discounted price with the 4-year that we originally offered him, which is nice. What's up, Sonia? Nice to see you here. I'm doing good. Long, busy day, a lot of work and stuff. I'm just running solo today, so we got to do that. yeah, it was like 12 million. Let's see that's going to go the distance, and especially like with our mid-level exception rate, I think it's at like 6 or 7 million. So we'll be able to capitalize on that with a little extra wiggle room to go forward with the possible KD route that we can put all of our chips in now. And so I think it's safe to say that Mikal and Cam Johnson are officially going to be part of our offer to the Brooklyn Nets for KD, along with some other assets and expiring contracts. Yeah, just everybody's busy today. Sonia, like Evan is on vacation. Ahmed's about to, head out, I think, on business work and stuff. And, I can do it. It's all good. I had to push out content for you guys because we've been waiting on Phoenix Suns news for a hot minute. It's been way too quiet, and I'm really glad that we got this done. Fabio, what's up, Fabio? How you doing, man? And Fabio commented, I don't get why there's some Pacer fans acting like they won. They didn't win anything. They didn't even lose anything. They are in the same position as before they offered the contract to DA. I don't think Pacer fans fully understand kind of like the long game that we had with DA. So like if any Pacer fans see this, it's like we value DA at like as a max player. I mean, we offered him that last season and he wanted that 5th year and we just didn't give it to him. And then the whole propaganda through the whole season was, oh man, you got to pay that man and all this stuff. And we're like, yeah, we know, but like it's kind of like, that 5th year is a long, it's a big commitment, and where the NBA is structured now, like you want guys that can create their own shot, and centers aren't as valued as they once was like 10, 15 years ago. And DA, he's a great center. I've been preaching all year. He's a top 5 center in the league, and he does great against the best ones. He does great against Giannis. He does great against Jokic. He does a good job containing Joel Embiid, and same thing with Kat. And like people, don't understand that like we offered DA what essentially he signed today last year. So and James Jones called his bluff, made him make the rounds, and now we have him secured. Now this gets into the conversation of what is DA's feelings about this. What's up? What's up, Jay? I love what you're doing with Fanning the Flames, man. Keep it up. I've been tuning in the last few episodes and stuff. You got what you guys are doing over there is great. But yeah, Twitter's been crazy today, man. I'm not gonna act like I know exactly everything that's going on currently. Just like I don't get, I'm not gonna act like I know how the money works, how some of these contracts work. But I know the landscape. At least I know the foundation of what we're playing at, and just covering this team, you start to see patterns of the direction that we're probably going towards. So like I don't necessarily blame like Pacer fans or Warriors fans not knowing the full grasp of the situation, but at the same time, I think it's pretty simple to understand what the breadcrumbs are. This is gonna be short, Jay. So like if you're looking for someone else to hop on, I'm always available. Just saying, even if it's not tonight, I'll extend my services to you, man. If you need someone to fill in. But shout out to Jay. Check out Fanning the Flames, man. Dan Duarte, he hops on there and stuff, and they have a new guy on there. I forget his name, but he's really cool too. Really great podcast. Definitely check him out. But let's it's like I want to give the Pacers a shout out. I think what they've been doing recently has been great for them. I mean, they haven't been relevant in so long. I mean, like despite like what Paul George did there, that was a really good time for them. But besides that, I mean, like, were they relevant before PG besides Reggie Miller? Was there a time between Reggie Miller and PG that they were really good. I have no idea. I'm only 22 years old, but yeah, like I want to give the Pacers a shout out. I mean, they have a solid squad right now. I mean, they want to build on top of, like, they want to finally put together a really strong team and stuff, and I think they have the capability to do that now. They have Duarte, they have Tyrese Halliburton, and they just extended Sticks. Sorry about that. And like, I think they're putting together a really solid team, and I think they can be really good. And then plus they have that guy from U of A. I forget his name, but he's really solid, man. So keep your eye out for the Pacers. But with the Pacer fans, they don't really understand what's going on right now. They're in the Midwest. They probably don't have internet there. This was my thought going into this. What is DA thinking? Shout out to Todd. Thank you for joining. This is where it's a little tricky. Okay, obviously we had to match. We couldn't let DA walk for nothing, right? So it's a little tricky because I think DA and Monty, like whatever's going on right there, I think the beef can be squashed. Okay, like I thought a lot of that stuff was in the heat of the moment. You're getting your ass kicked in a game 7, getting blown out. And through the whole season, DA took, a backseat to Chris Paul and Devin Booker and was treated like a third option, even though he should have been treated like a top 2 option. And, he sacrificed, not signing the max and, basically doing a prove it year. And when it came down to talking about money and negotiations again, it just wasn't there. So, DA played the field and probably overvalued himself. And like, what do you know? Only one team offered DA the max. And we just went ahead and matched it and got him at a discounted price. And plus got him at the 4-year deal we originally asked him for. So, Todd, to answer your question, I think this beef can be squashed, whatever the beef is between DA, Chris Paul, Monty, James Jones. I think that can be squashed for sure. I think it was in the heat of the moment. There's a lot of, I wouldn't say resentment, but anger and just like, I did all this for you. Can you throw me a bone in a sense? Like all year I was saying DA needs to be treated like a second option because, relying on Chris Paul isn't going to get you anywhere. And what do you know? We saw that in the playoffs once again. And like, I think DA is a smart guy. I think he got what he asked for. He got his money. He got the max he was sort of looking for, pretty close to it. If I was him, I would 100% be happy, and whatever we need to work on, let's work on it. And now the possibility of acquiring KD in this, the starting 5 for these guys are absolutely ridiculous. You got Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, question mark, then Deandre Ayton. That starting 5 alone is top 2, top 3 in the league, if not 1. So we still have a long way to go with that, but Kevin Durant needs to hold his ground and even start, pushing the narrative a bit that he wants to come here. So we got to look out for that because Sean Marks is playing fucking games right now. I think DA. What's up, Coda? I didn't see you coming here, man. Shout out to Coda. Thank you for stopping in, man. Since DA got his money, he better step up. He better be consistent. If we have 4 games in a week, you better show up in 3 and maybe take one game a little half off a little bit, but still put up the numbers. Like DA has the potential to put up all-star numbers, man. Like he is built to be reckoned with, man. Like I feel like a lot of people don't give DA his credit, but like he's a top 5 center. Suns fans will say it, to the field and back, man. I think what DA just wanted at the end of the day was to feel appreciated and get his bread. He's 23 years old. He has a kid now. I think he just wanted, that generational wealth to start, and I think he got that. Okogie could play the other position in the starting 5. He could, but his shooting is atrocious. We could definitely work on that. but maybe in the corner three. But I wouldn't be opposed to re-signing Ish and just have him play in there because he plays really solid defense. And I don't know if you guys have been watching Summer League. His shot is there. Like his shot is really improved. But yeah, I think DA's feelings. I think the beef can be squashed and we can sort of move on. And now our main focus is on free agents and acquiring DA. So I made some points. So yeah, guys, give me a second. Okay, so where are we in KD talks? Okay, so if you watch, sports media right now, what Woj has been saying, or Windhorst, or Tim Legler, Chris Broussard, whatever. Don't listen to those guys, man. Like Flex has been on the money since the very beginning. And I haven't doubted him for a second, not since when he announced the Chris Paul stuff. So, with that being said, I think we still have a really good shot because we were going to get into the tax anyway. If Robert Sarver wants to go out swinging, if he's going to be booted soon, I don't know where we are in the investigation, but he's if he did all this shit, which I'm thinking that he did, he's a piece of shit. But if he wants to go out swinging and kind of leave on sort of a positive note, he's still not necessarily a good guy. But if he wants to go out on a positive note, just flood the money and, acquire KD, fuck the tax in a sense, because cap space does not matter to teams like Brooklyn, Miami, and LA. So, I know we're Phoenix. We haven't been relevant like that, but cap space isn't a thing in sports. Look what the Rams did last season. Look what the Buccaneers did the season before. Look at what the Chiefs did the year before. All right, I know I'm talking about football right now, but cap space isn't a thing in sports. We can definitely get it going. Ish has been looking good. I would love to, re-sign him. We don't know with James Jones. He kind of waits until the last minute to do stuff like that. Torrey Craig, maybe. I don't know. I was really disappointed at what Torrey Craig did. When we got him back, he'll be solid, but I don't know where his contract is. I don't know if we're gonna, dish him out, trade him for something else. I don't know, but I think at this point I would rather have Ish playing in the other position. Flex said KD would be in Phoenix on July 4th. He did not say on July 4th. He said it would be cool if it was on July 4th because it would have been kind of the earliest time he would have came. So, I've been keeping up with Flex updates. I've been listening to his podcasts and stuff. He did not say it was going to happen on the 4th. Okay, so Flex W, right? People think that that the Suns are a small market. Well, they're not. Phoenix alone is a, top 5 in population, I'm pretty sure. We have so many fucking people here. And it's only been a small market because, or perceived that way, is because we've had bad management, bad ownership, and a lot of bad years when it comes to just sports in general. So no one takes it seriously. But the economy here, is growing by the day. We have a bunch of California people coming here and taking all, taking all the housing, taking all the apartments, all the Whole Foods are being built everywhere. The economy here is growing. Okay. So if KD comes here, I don't think the taxing would be an issue considering teams' budgets are going to be growing. I forget the term that they use in the NBA is going to be coming soon, but everybody's wages are going to be increasing. It was Flex's mom's birthday. That's why he said it would have been cool on that day because it would have just been an overall good day. That's what I'm saying, Coda. If we have DA and KD on the boards, and KD actually goes after boards, and if he's forced to, he's going to be snatching on motherfuckers. And same thing with DA. I hope one, this beef gets squashed, and two, come up with a game plan with DA and try to hit his strong suits. And he's going to have to get involved with this, the rebounding aspect of it all. That's what, killed us. If we rebound a little bit better, maybe that Dallas series, ends in 6, and we, win. But so yeah, where we are in KD talks, we were going to get into the, in the tax, regardless of if we max DA and not got KD, or if we got KD and MX Ayton, it would have happened regardless. So might as well, like if it was me seeing all these bad years with the Suns, I want to just roll the dice, and I'm willing to, go for it for the next 2 years, try to secure a championship. And I think most Suns fans would agree with that, except for Todd. Todd is not a big KD guy. Everyone knows KD is injury prone, and he will be injured on the injured list half the time. I mean, he's 34 years old. I mean, he couldn't be more injured than Chris Paul. So, if he's not as injured as Chris Paul, I mean, I think we'll be all right. But I don't think KD is declining. No, I wouldn't say that, Todd. I mean, like, he was like a toe away from us, like the Suns playing against the Nets in the finals. And I didn't want to play the Nets in the finals because I was worried about what KD and Kyrie and Harden would do, because Kyrie, he just rolled his ankle. So we would have for sure played against them. But, what's up, Amit? What's going on, man? Wish you were here, but hey, Amit, I'm watching The Boys right now. I just got to season 2. The show is muy bien, man. Thanks for the recommendation. Westville said, I think KD will make himself heard soon, and the Nets will have to trade him. Like, he's going to have to do that. He needs to let everybody know, like fuck the Raptors, fuck Golden State. So this is what bothers me. So, like ESPN, SportsCenter, they are pushing the narrative like literally every other place is better. And, like, yeah, like, you can hypothetically put together all these packages with all these other teams, man. Like with these Golden State talks, it's kind of dumb, and especially how they're evaluating Andrew Wiggins. Like you can't tell me our package isn't better than like 95% of the league, man. So, like, maybe one team can, really throw in everything and expect something, but. And that team being Toronto, I mean, they're not including Scotty Barnes, and then I don't think they want to put Siakam like within the talks either. And if they did do that, then what's the point? Because you're making your team way worse. Now you're going to rely on Van Fleet, and Gary Trent might be on the move. I mean, that's not the move, man. And Miami, like, KD said, oh, like, I'll only want to play in Miami if Bam is there, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, and I think he said Tyler Hero too, which essentially is saying is, like, I'll only go if nobody gets traded, which can happen. So Flex said, KD is Katie's list of preferences is Phoenix 1, Phoenix 2, and then Miami at 3. And I think that's really the list. There's been no implication or signs that KD wants to go back to Golden State. I think that'll be sort of a dumb move on his part, and he would just go back to square one with all the hate that he got back in 2017 with that. But going into where we go from here, it's free agency. We got to pick up some MLEs, and then of course, going after KD. And I say, we roll the dice and we, go for it, man. And I think what Flex has said is, we are 100% committed to acquiring KD. And if KD, makes it apparent that, the only place he wants to go is Phoenix, I think he will be here. And I think he will be here before the start of the season. And I mean, this can happen this weekend. This can happen like next week. It can happen anytime. But Sean Marks has to understand that the longer he waits, the more his wrist is going to be twisted, and he's going to have to force his hand. And Sean Marks is fighting for his job and stuff. Westville, Ahmed is not a Cowboys fan. That was a Converse star. Okay, well, we don't talk about the Cowboys here, man. But so like with that being said, I say we go after KD, like we do whatever we can with that, and we have to expect that Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges are going to be in this deal. If somehow James Jones can keep Mikal or Cam out of the trade talks, and we can keep one of them and still acquire KD, executive of the fucking decade, man. So pray for that at least. Westville said Sean Marks is trying to make up for the Harden trade. Yeah, because all their fucking picks is going to Houston. And so, like, we can send them picks, but we can't send them pick swaps because if we send them pick swaps, I mean, we can because they don't have any picks to start with. So they already killed themselves over that Harden trade. And remember, they didn't have to go get Harden. And they thought they were, getting him discounted and stuff and all this shit. And Harden never, played up to what he was supposed to be. Like the way Harden was playing in Houston, like it worked for him because he was the only one doing shit. So like, he's basically Russell Westbrook, but he can shoot the ball a little better, And now, like, you can't like bait call anymore. Like when he was grabbing the arm and driving it and stuff, they're not calling that shit anymore. So, oh yes, Sony as a Cowboys fan, I forgot about that. But yeah, like I said, like I think we're gonna roll the dice with KD, do whatever we can to acquire him. Not trying to gut the team, but that starting five alone with Ayton and KD within that is, it's beautiful in my mind. I've been thinking about it all day. But now we get to the conversation of Donovan Mitchell, the Utah Jazz, aka Danny Ainge, said he's open to hearing, possible trade requests for Donovan Mitchell. And if you don't know Donovan Mitchell, he's from New York, and like the conversation point for a while now with Donovan Mitchell is that eventually he's going to end up in New York, and this is even before we were even good again. So with Donovan going to New York, I mean, that puts a stake in the road for the Nets, because I know like the Nets want to all-star, and if I was Sean Marks, I would absolutely be trying to acquire Donovan Mitchell because that's the only star that's available right now. So Ahmed said, can't give up Cam and Mikal for KD, only one. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Ahmed. Like, I only want to give up one. If we can keep one, fantastic. But I think when it comes down to it, if we have to, I mean, I'm willing to roll the dice on that. And like I would say, I would want Joe Harris along with that, but dude, his contract is fucking dog shit, dude. He's getting paid stupid amount. It's like Luol Deng, like bad. So Westville said, I think Cam and Mikal will ultimately, they're gonna have to be traded, man. They're gonna have to be traded. I feel like. Which sucks because my girlfriend, she absolutely loves Mikal Bridges, calls him yellow shoes, and it's gonna suck because that's her favorite player. If James Jones can somehow keep Cam Johnson, we won the offseason. Yeah, just any one of the twins, man. If we can keep one of them, I think we're good. Yeah, Joe Harris is always her coda. Like that's why I don't want him. But if we're gonna be giving up both twins, we might as well get Joe Harris. But Joe Harris, his contract is fucking awful. And I know they're trying to dump that contract, and no one wants him because he's always hurt. And what was his injury? Wasn't it an ACL? So he won't be able to play anyway. And yeah, like, so, yeah, Todd, like the Nets want, young guys, they want young talent, and then they want picks. And we can't give them pick swaps because they don't have any picks to swap. So, we're gonna have to do a 3-team trade. So with the Donovan Mitchell thing, the stake in the road, is like Sean Marks needs to do whatever he can to get Donovan Mitchell, and that is gonna have to require our help because we can help with that. But if Donovan Mitchell ends up going to the New York Knicks, and the Knicks, send out, I'm just gonna throw this out, RJ Barrett maybe. back to Utah and some other shit. I mean, essentially, the Nets' hands are tied at that point, right? Am I right, guys? Like there's no other options out there. I mean, besides a couple packages, and I feel like Phoenix's package is. If you hear my dog barking, I'm sorry. Like I got a Rottweiler puppy like a couple months ago, and it just like she just barks for like no reason. But like essentially, like the Nets organization's hands are tied, aren't they? Because there's none of those all stars available anymore that they were looking for. The free agency sort of room is kind of dry now, and it's like, what can they do at that point? And now I feel like if that happens, KD is going to start, pushing the narrative like, I just want to go to Phoenix. I just want to go to Phoenix. Man, like Devin Booker on the cover, that's tight. Like just saying like little shit, just him being funny on Twitter. Like, how KD is. So if Sean Marks wants to prevent that, we need to get into 3-team trade with Utah, and we're going to have to like, Brooklyn's going to have to compensate for Utah, and like Phoenix has to compensate for Brooklyn. It's going to be, how 3-team trades work. So, all right, what did Koda say? Let's be real. This trade is going to suck just because of what's going on. Only time will tell, man. Like, I have a gut feeling that we can probably fleece the Nets, but I don't know, because I don't want to have an Anthony Davis situation. Like, wait a whole year. Everyone knows that Anthony Davis is going to the Lakers, and then just about like all the Lakers' young core goes to New Orleans and shit, and AD's hurt all the time, whatever. Like, I don't want that situation. I don't think that it's going to play out that way. I think James Jones and all the other GMs was like, yeah, let's not do that again. Westville says Suns get KD, Nets get Mitchell and picks. Utah gets Simmons and picks. Yeah, I think that's essentially what's going to be, because Ben Simmons and Mitchell, they have to flip flop, because you can't have 2 rookie extension guys on the same team. But then like guys that we have to go after is Bojan and Jordan Clarkson. If we can somehow acquire one of those guys within that 3-team deal, along with KD, dude, just give us the Larry O'Brien now, man. Like, that's all I'm saying. That's the outlook, Wes, but we'll see. Yeah, like it's a waiting game at this point. It's what is Donovan Mitchell going to do? What are the Knicks willing to sacrifice? And what do the Nets want to do? Because Sean Marks is fighting for his job right now. His teeth are grinding. I know he is bloodshot in the eyes, looking at his computer screen, trying to work the numbers, trying to figure out how to make this work and please everybody. But I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't think the sports analysts' mouthpieces are in the Nets' favor when it comes to using them for leverage and prolonging this process. I don't think that's really in their favor, especially if KD steps in and starts talking shit. But we'll only see. Now we have DA. I'm happy that he's here. Like if it's true of what I'm reading that they wanted him back the whole time, that's great. Maybe some things have been resolved since then, but only time will tell with that. But crazy day, man, crazy. And I got worried just like everybody else, but Flex is our Lord and Savior, and he keeps talking us down, and it seems like he's known about this for a while now, and this was like definitely something that could have happened. But was there anything else that I missed, guys? If you want to throw something in the comments, I can answer a couple questions before we close this out. I wanted to keep it short for tonight. Like just cover where we're at with KD talks and just this overall DeAndre Ayton thing. Like, what's your guys' opinions on the Robert Sarver stuff? Like, you think that investigation is going to wrap up? You think they're going to kind of sweep it underneath the rug until everybody forgets about it? Like, what do you guys think? Oh, yeah, where did Austin Rivers go? Where did he sign to? I read something. Did he stay with the Nuggets or did he go somewhere else? Let me know, Coda. Yeah, the Nets are posturing, and like I hope James Jones doesn't, get caught like sitting on his hands not doing anything. I don't think he's going to do that, but you just never know. You never know. Oh, Minnesota. Yeah, that's right. How much did Austin Rivers fleece him for? Because for some reason Minnesota has like all this fucking cap space or just whatever. The last thing I saw, it was the last in the investigation. I mean, I feel like I've read that a bunch, like the last like 3 months, so I have no idea. But with this Robert Sarver stuff, like it's a little tricky because I read the whole report when it first came out, and it's a lot of hearsay. It's a lot of he said, she said, and I mean it's tough to prove that, especially if you don't have recordings. That's why I thought it was very kind of irresponsible for some of the NBA insiders to, put out that there's an investigation before the report even came out. I thought that was pretty damaging to the process because if we were able to, catch him lacking in like in a recording, kind of like how Donald Sterling was, or just anything, just any proof that like he said or did the things that was said in the report. I mean, it would have been curtains by now, and like all of us on the He's on Fire podcast, essentially said this is going to take like a full, year in a sense, and not necessarily a season, like a full year. And it's getting to that point, like in the next like 2 months, it's going to be close to a year since we've been talking about this. If, like I said, like if Sarver wants to go out swinging, kind of leave off on a good note, if he's his way out the door, dude, just pay the fucking tax, man. Like, who gives a shit? You've been cheap the whole time you've been an owner, and now we have a chance to acquire a generational talent while having, a star-studded starting five, man. Like, come on, man, just do it, man. It's like we haven't spent money the whole time this team has been around. Like, might as well do it now. Like, what do you guys think about the Rudy Gobert trade? We really haven't talked about it on the pod. After thinking about it a little bit more, I understand why Minnesota did it. And, I mean, they definitely got fleeced a little bit, but I don't think it was as crazy as people were making it out to be. I mean, the players that they sent out, I mean, like I would trade those guys for Rudy Gobert any day. I mean, fuck Patrick Beverley. Like, who gives a shit, right? And what are some of the free agents you guys want to go after? I mean, I saw Dennis Schroeder was out there. He's going to have to be on a mid-level exception. Dwight Howard is still out there. I mean, I would love to go after Montrezl Harrell, but he's going through legal stuff right now. I mean, I would love to go after Jordan Clarkson possibly, but we'll see, man. We did remember Hakeem Ward. Yeah, I mean, we did, but God, it was stupid. I could have told you at that time, and I was really young when that happened. I could have told you that was a bad move. Yeah, it's like it seemed like Sarver didn't take the team seriously until like recently. Oh, what is this? Is this Amit? You there?
I'm there, bro. I'm here. What's good?
Oh, Amit is here, guys. Amit is here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm just trying to take care of some of my final preparations before I head to New York this weekend for a wedding.
Nice.
And then when I get back, I got some family that's going to be staying with us for a night, so I got to take them around LA. And then I got to do all the chores for my wife because I'm going to be gone for the whole weekend. So
right.
That's what's keeping me away right now. But I'm glad to be connected.
What part of New York? Is it upstate? Is it like?
Yeah, it's Glen Cove. I think that's Long Island. No, it's 100% Long Island. It's a place I've never been before.
Okay.
My buddy's getting married, so I'm the only one traveling from the family because it's just too expensive and the whole deal.
Right. Yeah. Like my dad is getting married in October. So and like me and my girl, we've been talking about it, and I think I'm just gonna go. It's gonna be in Washington, so I think it would just be a lot with the 1-year-old and her, and then dealing
Okay.
with work
Okay.
and stuff. So
That's cool.
yeah, so it'll probably just be me. So I totally get what you mean with that, but that's cool, man. So what are your thoughts with everything that happened today? I mean, you got your wish, we got Aiden back, but what's the cost? I mean, we obviously know the cost, but what are your feelings with all this, man?
I mean, this was a necessary thing to happen because you can't lose that sort of talent. Look, if he doesn't want to play here, then we'll find him a place he wants to play.
Right.
Because I think he has a no trade clause in his in this contract too.
He does. He
Um,
does.
So I mean, so he doesn't get to. I mean, we're gonna figure out what comes back for Phoenix, but it's not gonna be for nothing, and that's better than losing it for nothing, right? We still have options. As far as the KD trade, I mean, I think the more, I mean, if DeAndre Ayton's going to be involved in a KD trade, that can't happen until January 15th.
Right.
I don't think the market's going up for KD in January 15th. At that point,
I think so.
you're getting back the expiring picks, the expiring contracts, and a couple first rounders and swaps. You're not getting McHale or Cam. You know what I mean? And maybe one of those guys gets moved in that Ayton deal somewhere else to bring back a Jordan Clarkson or whatever, like you were saying. But we're not losing those three players, without getting a quality player back for each one of them. That's how I truly feel.
Right.
Or picks or something, right? Like if we give up all our picks to the Nets, but then we get some picks back from Utah, because they have a million picks now. Like we can get some back, or we get some picks back from Oklahoma City. Maybe they want to like start leveling up, with a Cam or a McHale. So I think ultimately the Suns are playing this right. Like I don't think you can't rush this and do something really foolish, because that's what you've seen teams do. As soon as, like, remember when the rumors would come out and then the teams were like furiously trying to make a trade just to get it done because everybody knew it was going to happen. Or you get the opposite where it's like the Anthony Davis thing, which you're talking about, which is like, we know it's going to happen. Or the James Harden deal, right? We know it's going to happen. What are you going to get back? And look at what Brooklyn did in that deal, right? They got back Ben Simmons. What else did they get back? They didn't even get Tyrese Maxey. They didn't get anybody else of quality, I don't think. Seth Curry, I think? Or was he already there?
Seth Curry got switched, and I feel like it was somebody else.
It's probably a scrub. I mean, if we can't remember who it is. So that's my point. Like, that's what they got back for. Everybody knew he didn't want to be there, and they had to do it before the trade deadline, and that's what they got back. So I'm just thinking, if they want to play the long game here, it's bad. It's a bad look for them. And right. Now that they saw what the Suns did and they didn't want to commit to anything that we offered at that point, now it's going to be after January 15th if you want to get the best deal from the Suns. Because the Suns, I guess there is one, if they're planning to keep DeAndre Ayton, and you have a lineup with KD, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker, and maybe it doesn't matter if you have Cam or McHale in that deal,
Right.
If that's what your truly intention is, then you can look at who's the guy you just mentioned? Schroeder. I mean, you can look at some of these other like 3-and-D, like kind of low level 3-and-D players just to fill a role. I mean, I'm okay with that too. Joe Harris, I don't think the Suns would take that money back, considering what we already committed to now. But yeah, I mean, I think the opportunities now are all over the place.
Right. Yeah, definitely some doors closed, but I feel like the same doors that closed, some others opened in this for sure. Gabriel says, what's up, Gabriel? Flex said we would have to wait till LeBron opts in on the 4th of August till KD gets moved. Said Bronx will move Kyrie Irving first. He has hinted at that the last couple pods I've listened to. If he said that in one of his recent tweets, I mean, tight. I mean, there's dates that these players have to hit to opt in, opt out, go into free agency, whatever. So if LeBron opts in on the 4th or even before then, as soon as Kyrie gets traded, we should be expecting KD to be traded in that aspect too, right?
The Kyrie thing, because I heard something today where he's okay with coming back now. In fact, I don't think you saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
So, like, I mean, dude, I don't think there's anybody in their right mind that was going to trade for Kyrie. Like, why would you do that trade? The only team that has to, because there's no other opportunity, is the Lakers. But we already know what Brooklyn's asking for in the asking price for all these trades that they're doing. So if I don't think that trade can get done soon. I don't think it can. And honestly, if I'm LeBron and I got KD on my team, I'm again the guy carrying the load all the time.
Right.
You know, like these guys are never going to play. Like this guy disappears for personal reasons. He won't play because he won't get vaccinated. And then we know Anthony Davis's whole street clothes. I mean, we know who he is. So it's like, well, who is LeBron? Like, okay, let's say and I may be speaking. So I have to take my hater Lakers hat off, because maybe that's where my perspective is coming and saying that why would anybody trade for Kyrie? But let's just think about this. Do a quick thought process. Is there anybody out there that would trade for Kyrie? Like, does it make sense for them to get Kyrie? You'd have to be in a desperate situation. Like, the only team I could think of is maybe Miami wants to get off of Kyle Lowry and just be like, okay, let's just get younger, a little younger, not that much younger, but at least we have another scorer. Maybe some guy who can make a three at the end of the game rather than Jimmy Butler.
Right.
By the way, I think about that play like every day, dude. I'm like, why did he do that? That was so dumb.
I'm off and on with that play. I'm like, man, he did hit it a little before.
I know. I remember he did the same exact thing on the wing, on the other side of the court. I'm just like, come on, man. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, you're making really good points, and that's kind of like where my thinking is at. Westville. So January 15th, we have the option to look out for trades for DA, and DA can veto those trades. He can essentially pick where he wants to go if that team wants him as well. But if everything goes according to plan, which I feel like it's all the dominoes are kind of falling in place in a sense. Like I think Chris Paul will take a further seat back. KD and Booker, handle the mess. And KD is great with finding big men. I don't know if y'all watched a lot of Nets games and stuff, but the dude has an eye at finding big men. So I think DA will get a lot of lobs. Booker sucks with finding DA. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I really don't know. But I mean, only time will tell. Like we said, Fabio said maybe Chicago. I mean, Dallas was in the mix too for like 2 seconds, and they're like, no. I'm not worried about Dallas, man. I mean, they just lost Jalen Brunson. They got Christian Wood. They got JaVale McGee. Like, I'm just not crazy about Dallas. And like the moves that they're making, I feel like they want Luka to win MVP before a championship, which is, I guess. I mean, if that, brings the money in, cool. But, oh, yeah, like what Coda said, yeah, Durant and Claxton, I mean, they're finding each other, like on every play. So I think, have a great time playing with Kevin Durant. And I think, DA will be more included in the offense, especially if Chris Paul is taking further seat back. But Ahmed, with this Donovan Mitchell stuff, do you have any thoughts about where this can go? Did you have any opinions about that?
So we don't know what if, and I guess nowadays with the league, it's about where does the player want to go, right?
Right.
All we know is that Donovan Mitchell is from New York, so is his preference to go to like a Brooklyn, a New York, a Philly, a Washington D.C., Boston, like that region? Is it the region or is it like a specific city or team? So we don't know what he wants. So I guess it's all over the place, right? I guess and honestly, if I'm Utah, like I'm looking at it and I'm going, I just got a ton of draft picks back. I don't think they're in the same position, and they got some players back. I don't think any of those guys have like upside to like all-star level upside, but and even anybody else in the roster besides Mike Conley, and I think that's the contract that they probably want to get off of more than Donovan Mitchell. But I think for Donovan Mitchell, it's like if they're going to trade him, they have to get back like a young prospect, like a player, like a rookie player or second year player, and who are those guys? Like maybe there's some Houston players out there that I'd maybe if I was Utah, I'd be interested in, if I get a chance at some of those Utah guys that are there. Oklahoma City too, right? But does he want to play there? I don't know. And does it matter if he wants to play there or not? Like that too, I don't know. But there are some players, like there's a lot of guys. Dude, have you seen any of this Chet Holmgren highlights?
Yeah, but the dude needs to put on weight, man. He's not gonna.
That's what they said about KD too, bro. That's what they said about KD.
Hey, he's nice, man. Chet is nice.
His shot blocking was the part that surprised me. I didn't think he was that kind of guy.
Oh yeah, he can block. I mean, in Gonzaga, I watched like a handful of games. Like, dude was swatting left to right. So
yeah,
I mean, he's playing lower competition right now. We'll see when the season starts. But I mean, Chet is nice. He's obviously, you can see why he was a top 3 pick. So
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things we're saying because I think they said 85% of the players that play in summer league don't play in the NBA. And actually, one of my neighbors, he played in the summer league last year. I don't know if he played this year, but he's older. He's like my age, and but he just picks up for for the money or whatever and stuff, and he has a good relationship. He's trying to get into coaching or whatever. But yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys don't know. They don't. I mean, forget about a lot of them have the NBA athleticism. They're just not really skilled or developed players. But I just saw enough from him that I was like, okay, that can work. Like, yeah, I'm sure he's going to need to get stronger. I don't know if he needs to put on weight, but you can get stronger still without putting on a lot of weight. And putting him next to Giddey and SGA, and I wonder if this unlocks something in Poku, because I actually really like Poku because he's so goofy, and I just that goofiness with him and Chet together is going to be fun to watch. But I wonder if him being able to sort of play a little bit off ball gives him a chance to unlock some of his skills, because he's like that Dario where he'll do some really unathletic but awesome plays, and then he'll do some really unathletic silly plays that go, oh my god, bro, why are you always on your ass, yeah. But but I just want to see. I'm interested in Chet Holmgren and what he can do. But again, going back to Donovan, yeah, I mean, I think unless Utah wants a particular player, and I'm trying to think of who that particular player could be for them, because Donovan's only I think he's Devin Booker's age, right? I think he may be older actually.
Yeah, I believe so.
So, and he's on his rookie. I think he's on his rookie max deal. So that limits where he can go to, because only teams can have one rookie max deal on their contract, right? So that's going to limit a lot of teams. In fact, that actually doesn't that automatically eliminate the Nets, because they have
they would have to send Ben Simmons to Utah or somewhere else. So
okay, So I mean, I'm just thinking. I thought. That you're right. They would have to send Simmons, but I was thinking, what if because a Simmons Mitchell, maybe that partnership is better than a Gobert Mitchell partnership.
Yeah, I would agree, but it sucks how they can't play together because of that stupid rule. But maybe that stupid rule is in our favor when it comes to talking about the KD shit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. The Knicks because I think interested.
Hold on, but isn't Mikal? Isn't he on your rookie? Oh, he's on a max. That's what it is. Mikal's on a rookie.
You're kind of breaking.
I believe that's what it is. I believe you can. Sorry, I said I believe it's you can't have two players with rookie max, right? Not just rookie extensions.
Yeah, it's rookie maxes. You can't have them both on the same team.
Okay, and Mikal is not. Mikal is not a. Mikal is not a max, though, right?
No, he's not. No.
Okay. I was just thinking, maybe did we all miss this? That maybe Mikal can't even be included in the trade.
No, that would have definitely been the conversation. Rumor is Jazz won and quickly Tobin. Yeah, you got to start up high, Kenny. That's exactly what Sean Marks did.
No, but that deal is ridiculous. I saw that. It was like 6 players and 6 draft picks.
Like that Rudy Gobert shit kind of like fucked up the market a little bit when it comes to asking.
Yes.
But you have to start up high and you'll find a middle. Like they're not gonna get that, man. I mean, Quickly's cool. Tobin, all right. Grimes. I mean, like those
Tobin is like he's basically Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a little flashier, like maybe a little bit more jump, but like he's basically Kelly Oubre.
Rounds, dude. 6
Yeah, his
rounds.
bounce is sick. His bounce is sick.
Like if it was 3 or 4 first rounds, I would do it. A 6, dude.
That's insane.
That's disrespectful.
That's disrespectful. And it's funny because they're like they basically go, okay, you don't want to give us RJ Barrett, we'll take everybody else you have and every pick that you're gonna have. And that's just dumb. Like, why don't you do just RJ Barrett and a pick swap or something? You know, like
like RJ Barrett, maybe another guy and some draft.
I mean, whatever the filler is, right? Like whatever fills it in.
Because Donovan, he's a great player, but he's not worth 6 first-round picks and like half of a fucking team, dude. So
yeah, I think we all learned this. I think the NBA mainstream media didn't understand this maybe 3 years ago, but I think we all knew it watching Devin Booker and comparing the 2 players. And I'm not saying comparing 2 players is the way that you should judge how talented a player is. But I will say this, when you compare the 2, you see one guy's a franchise player and one guy might be a franchise player, but we don't know because he's just not big enough. And I think that is why I will always say that no matter what no matter what Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell do, is it going to matter compared to what Devin Booker can do, or Jason Tatum can do, or Jaylen Brown can do? Because they're just bigger, taller people, you know. And in a sport where that matters a lot, especially with guards that like Chris Paul, right, or Isaiah Thomas, or Kevin Johnson, or Steve Nash, all the guys. I mean, how many point guards do we know that played their best basketball when they were like 40 or 38 or 36?
None.
You know, maybe Nash, maybe Paul, right?
Yeah, the list is short. How long did Isaiah Thomas play the Pistons one?
I think I want to say he probably played to like the mid 90s, but I mean he was injured a lot. You know,
he was
all these guys
undersized and he got thrown around.
I mean, actually, you know who the exception is? It's probably Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph. What about Stockton? Like, how long did he play? I have no clue.
He played well into his 40s, but the thing about Stockton was that it was. I don't even know how to describe it, dude. I can't even understand. It was just like 12 and 12 every night. You know what I mean? That was it, though. You weren't getting 30, 40-point games out of this dude. You were just consistently getting, and maybe that's what it was. He just played at like 75%, or I don't know what he did, but he just stayed at that 12 and 12 level like his whole career.
Sonia, fun fact about me. So I'm a junior. My name originally was supposed to be Isaiah Thomas Joyce because that's my dad's favorite player besides Charles Barkley, and he was absolutely obsessed with Isaiah Thomas. And until I was born, he made the decision. It was like, I was just making him a junior. So my name for 99% of the pregnancy was going to be Isaiah Thomas.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Wild. That is wild.
But Iverson, thanks for joining, man. Hopefully KD deal gets done by the end of the week sometime. I don't think so. I mean, I want this done. Okay. I don't want to be talking about this anymore. I want to look forward to, the season coming up, but I think us waiting is working in our favor because I don't know exactly what Sean Marks is going to play here at this point. If Donovan ends up going to the Knicks, like what can the Nets do at that point? So I don't know. And I don't know if you missed this, Ahmed, but I was saying, like, with this Donovan stuff going on, I think KD needs to, step in on Twitter and start talking shit a little bit. Maybe not talk shit, but, kind of imply that, like his like he's out the door. Don't you say?
Well, I'll say this. I said this last time. I mean, I think like this is the ultimate leverage play we'll see in the NBA. A player on a max contract with 4 years left, asking for a trade and asking to play with only one team, specifically pretty much one player. If that deal gets done, I don't know what happens to the NBA after that, because I think we're going to see that all the time now. Like we're going to just see guys just signing a deal and just being like, okay, I want to be traded, And I with KD, I mean, I agree. I was saying I don't think it's going to happen until January 15th at the earliest. Now, if
Really?
it happens, well, if it happens in the off season. But
Yeah.
every day that goes by makes that probability drop, because I mean, a lot. You don't understand. A lot of players are held up, or you probably do understand this. A lot of players are held up on their deals. Like Austin Rivers signed a deal tonight. I bet you that deal, he was probably waiting on that deal for like a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys that deals are hanging in the balance, and the Suns have I think they have 4 expiring contracts.
4 or 5,
Saric,
yeah, something like that.
yeah, we got Saric. I mean, you I guess Biombo. I don't know what his deal is, but
We just extended him.
extended him, but he wasn't even on a contract, so I don't know if it was like a 1-year deal or what.
Yeah.
But we got campaign. You got campaign. You got and here's another thing that we haven't even talked about. No one's talked about this. Cam Johnson hasn't signed his qualifying offer yet.
Right.
So that if he signed it, it would essentially, after this season, he would be a free agent. He doesn't have to sign it now. He can sign it next year. But if he signed it now, let's say he just signed a qualifying offer, now he can be traded as a free agent, as basically an expiring deal, right?
Right.
Not necessarily you have a 1 year tacked on, but he's essentially for that team an expiring deal.
It's basically the DA situation last year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no. Actually, if DA there was a chance there was 3 chances, right? The chance at DA to sign a trade or a qualifying offer and he got picked up, or he could just take on the qualifying offer and then take on free agency on his own. The qualifying offer, I believe, was like $16 million, so it's nothing on what he's going to make now. But he's not going to make that money until after this year. Right. So he could have, or no, sorry, he would have made $60 million this year. Sorry, I'm confusing Cam Johnson, because Cam can sign it and he would make his qualifying offer next year. So he would be expiring, and then the Suns could do a lot with that if they really wanted to. But I think, I was just really surprised that Indiana even did this, because didn't they think the Suns weren't gonna match this? I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe Indiana wanted to do it to make it look like they're serious about trying to make their team relevant again. Maybe this is kind of they're willing to, throw money at somebody. Maybe they can attract some people. I don't know. They had to have known that the Suns were going to match it. Did you see this from today? Kenny put this. The Suns odds went up on DraftKings to get KD after the Suns matched. Ayton went from us being the favorites at 105 to 115.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, because he only wants to play here, right?
Yeah, the herd is thinning, man. It's us, man. I'm telling you.
And you know what I wouldn't be surprised of, and I'm expecting this, is that there's going to be a Miles Turner move in the next couple weeks or before the season starts, because you can't go and be like, okay, there's no way that they ever thought that Ayton and Miles Turner were going to play together. Nobody in the world thinks that those guys are going to play together, right? That would just be ridiculous. So that means you're moving him to the bench where he's already a starter. So he's got to be thinking the writing's on the wall for me. My time in Indiana is done. So they have to move him now. They have to move him.
Yeah, man. I wonder what they can get. And plus, who can they acquire to make their team, level up a bit? But I don't know. Indiana, I I don't know. It's tricky,
They're
but
they're
I'm
they're,
glad we have DA back.
they're,
But
they're a full rebuild. I mean, Indiana's
oh
gonna
yeah,
be a
they
full
are.
rebuild. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, okay, maybe you could trade Turner and then try to partner him up with Donovan, right? Because maybe that's the missing piece. Just get a younger player that can do more than what Rudy Gobert could do, but give you some of what he could do on defense. But then I don't know if those trade picks, what they traded for, can be traded right away. Like if they can work in a deal like that, because
Mhm.
I'm assuming if Indy is in a full rebuild, then they're going to want picks, right, for
Right.
him, and maybe a Clarkson, and then you trade Clarkson, and then Clarkson gets traded January 15th or whatever. I think it's December 15th, whatever it is for free agents or other players that aren't on like under contract or qualifying offers or match contracts. But I wonder, man. I wonder. I think everything is open. Like this is going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess for everybody.
Yeah, like the clock is paused right now. Ring the Stranger Things bell, man.
Yes.
Yeah, like things are at a standstill.
This was the third
it's like
bell.
in
This
the
was the third
office.
bell.
It's like in the office when they're like this. It's
Yeah.
basically a stalemate. So
No, but going back to Stranger Things, it's the third bell, right? So the fourth bell is when Vecna takes over. That
right.
third bell rang. The third bell rang. That fourth bell is the KD bell. That's when
Yeah.
the upside down when my Phoenix Sun sign gets flipped over. Back to the real world.
I got to add that in here. I feel like that'd be pretty funny. Katie's face all blown up, and then with that bell going off.
Yeah,
I'll put that together. But did you have any closing thoughts on it? I appreciate you hopping on when you did, man.
yeah. No, I couldn't miss this one. No, I mean, I think just we got it. Like as much as it sucks, we have to be patient. Like things aren't finished. A lot of things are going to happen. I mean, just look at the last season. Look at the last couple of years and the player movement that we've seen from guys moving from championship teams to the Clippers, and so there's a lot of stuff to move around. I'll say this: next time we do an After Dark, Jay, I don't know when it's going to be because I'm going to be out of town until Monday. But
Okay.
I want to talk about The Dark Knight Rises because I rewatched it and I have a ton of thoughts about that movie.
Okay.
And hopefully in the time before that, I'm going to rewatch The Batman. Not comparing the two, but I'm just trying to look at Batman from 10 years ago to Batman's current version and just try to draw some comparisons and see, because I saw a lot when I watched The Dark Knight Rises again. I kind of changed my opinion on the whole movie.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I don't know if you heard me, but like I just started watching The Boys. I finished season
No, I
1.
saw that. You're up to season, almost into season 3.
So I'm like season 2, episode 3 right now, but I'm rolling through it right now. I'm about to like hop on and watch maybe 3 if possible. But yeah, I'll definitely throw that down so we don't forget that conversation piece, because I'm trying to figure out what we're going to talk about for an After Dark show. But whenever you're available, we can do it whenever, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
and
cool.
I appreciate the chat. We got a lively chat tonight. I loved it.
Yeah, big news, and I'm glad we got to put this out and stuff. And again, I appreciate you hopping on when you did. It's crazy right now, and I know you have a lot going on. But yeah, let's close it out here. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. It was great seeing the chat going crazy. If y'all don't know, me and Ahmed, we have a branch off show called the After Dark. He's on Fire After Dark show. I think we're like 6 episodes in now. Go ahead and watch those. We talked about the last one. We talked about the season finale of The Boys and Stranger Things, and we talked about some other stuff. And you can check that out in our previous podcasts as well. Shout out to all the Suns creators pushing out content as well in these times and stuff. Suns Jam Session, Suns Geek, Fanning the Flames. All those guys are great. Shout out to them, PHNX and all that. So show him some love, and tell him that He's on Fire sent you. But thank you everybody for joining us. You can find me on Twitter, Jay Joyce. You can find Amit at the Sustainable. I always forget your fucking Twitter handle.
Sustainable Emit. You can find me there.
Yeah, so if you have any takes or anything, just tweet at us and all that. But thank you again for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one. And if anything happens, I'll be here. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Love you. I'll catch you later.